welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. I'm Kristin, Holton, Prouty, and if you don't recognize where I am in the chapel here at Victory Lutheran. If you've never been into this lovely space, I would invite you to go across the courtyard and come in. We have behind me here the beautiful stained glass of the Luther Rose, and it's just a small, intimate space with a lovely acoustic. We do some smaller memorials here. We had a prayer and praise service, which was just so wonderful because the acoustic is great for singing some of these old hymns of faith. And so if you've never been in here, I would invite you to check out the chapel. Today I wanted to come in here and share with you a Lenten hymn that I'm sure you know, O Sacred Head Now Wounded. This is one of my favorite Lenten hymns, and it dates all the way back to the beginning of the 1100s, the 12th century. Is attributed to a monk named Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. Now, he was born into nobility. His father was a knight. He grew up in a castle. He had all the training. Everybody expected him to become nobility. Maybe he would even rise beyond a knight to become something bigger than that. But as a teen, he felt the calling to go and be a soldier for Christ instead of being a soldier for the king. And so he went and he entered a monastery. And by the age of 25, the other monks felt that he was qualified and ready to go out, so they sent him with a group of 12 to start his own monastery. And from there, his influence spread around Europe. He even went to Rome on occasion to consult on things, and he was influential in one of the popes. And a historian wrote about him that the ability of one man without political office or power to change history solely by his teaching and example is without parallel until the 16th century, when Martin Luther would again transform Europe. So these two influential men, several hundred years apart, and this is a text that he wrote. Now, when we sing hymns in church, we sing our favorites. We have to remember hymns were probably written usually as poems, and so they would have many, many verses. And we, through the time, have picked the ones that are the most interesting or the most fun to sing, or for one reason or another, those are the ones that have been passed down. So it's common to have 3, 4, maybe 5 stanzas to a hymn. But often these texts are much longer than that. So I know you've sung the first verse of O Sacred Head, but I want to read you 2 verses that maybe are less familiar to you. Now from thy cheeks has vanished their color once so fair. From thy red lips is banished the splendor that was there. Grim death with cruel rigor hath robbed thee of thy life. Thus thou hast lost thy vigor, thy strength in this sad strife. My burden in thy passion, Lord, thou hast borne for me, for it was my transgression which brought this woe on thee. I cast me down before thee, wrath where my rightful lot. Have mercy, I implore thee, Redeemer, spurn me not. Now, the tune that this is often paired with is from 1656, or that's when they were published together. It was written by the Renaissance composer Hans Leo Hassler. And it's a tune that you know, and it's a tune that's remained famous through time. Johann Sebastian Bach wrote a harmonization of it, and that's one that we often use. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. So what a beautiful melody, what a beautiful melody. I'm going to play a piano arrangement of this by an Episcopal priest, an American Episcopal priest. He spent a lot of time spending time in France with the monks at Salem. And so he has influence from chant and plain chant. And Just so he takes this old tune and he pairs it with these old ideas, but he makes it fresh and new. He's using mixed meter and some more modern, I say modern, he was writing this in the early 1900s, so, not fully modern, but modern compared to, 1153 or whenever the text is from. And just takes and kind of freshens it up. So you've heard how Bach said it, and now I'm going to play for you a setting from the 20th century. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you just sit back and reflect and think about, even though all of this pain and anguish, and it's good to reflect on those things, right? This wasn't a simple thing that Jesus did for us, but he did it so that we have the joy to call him ours.